Hey guys, Captain here. And it occurred to me recently that although I'm a pretty big fan of Star Wars, I don't think I've actually made any Star Wars videos on this channel. So, I saw Force Awakens recently, and after browsing Flickr, I got inspired to make my very own BB-8 droid. You know, the new little droid that's running around, and it's based off the Lowell sphere. I did some modifications so that we can kind of make its head move around a little bit. And so the ball tilts on the side. But there is a slightly easier way to make it without having this on a diagonal, and it doesn't need a platform to support itself then. I will explain how to do that, but anyway, first let's check out the instructions. First things first, because we want to be tilting the ball kind of an angle, let's make a little platform so that BB-8 can sit snug. Alright, so take a 4x4 plate in tan. I'm using tan here because BB-8 spends most of his time on Jakku, which is a sandy planet. And you don't have to take a 4x4, you can take two 2x4s and just hold them together with these little 1x2 plates. But make a small circle of plates around that, and then take 2x4 plates and kind of line the perimeter with them so that one stud sticks out in each direction. And then take more 1x2 plates just to texture this a little nicely and make a larger circle there. And so BB-8 can rest nicely on this platform. So first let's make BB-8's head, and you can make this with all the pieces seen here. Now let's start with a round 4x4 plate in white. And in the back here, let's place a 2x2 brick. In front of that, on the left side, when we're orienting it like this, let's place a 1x1 brick. The color doesn't actually matter. I'm using white, but this will be covered up. And then in front of that, let's place a white headlight. And on the stud sticking out from the headlight, let's place a black stud. And on top of that, a translucent red stud. Now next to that, take one of these hinges, these hinge connector 1x2 plates, in black. Stick it on the bottom. Then add a 1x2 plate in white, and add a 1x2 plate in orange. Now, if you're willing to get the orange color to be a little nicer, there is an old version of orange. It's called, I think, medium orange. You know, you're going to have to pay up for this because I believe it's a discontinued color, but it does exist. I have a small amount of pieces like that lying around. Alright, the next thing you want to do is take a headlight, and you'll want to do this 2 times with each angle. Take a white headlight, place a 1x1 orange plate on it, and then place a cheese slope in white on it, angled sideways. And you'll want to do this twice for each angle. And so stick these to kind of round out the sides of BB-8's head. Now on top of this, you're going to place one of these large dishes. I don't know what the size is, but I'm sure it'll include a 4 in it somehow or other, because this is a 4x4 plate we're working with essentially in light gray. And just stick that on top. Top of that, place a 2x2 white dish, and then a antenna or lever, or whatever it's called, on top of that. And now this is something we're doing for this version that I'm demonstrating. This is where BB-8's head is kind of at a diagonal. You'll want to take a cone and another dish. You'll want to stick this on the underside of his head, right there in the center. Now, what you really use doesn't matter that much. It doesn't have to be a cone, it can be a cylinder. It doesn't really have to be a dish, it can be a 2x2 plate. But anyway, cone and dish works fine, so that's what we're going to roll with for now. Now, as I mentioned, this design is largely based off of the Lowell sphere. At least I think I mentioned it. And the beauty of the Lowell sphere is that it's pretty versatile because you can color scheme it pretty easily. And you can also kind of extend it in various ways, as you'll see. Now, if you want to make a very simple BB-8, what you can do is you can just make 6 of the regular faces, and I'll show how to make a regular face now, because we need 3 of them. So you take 4 of these corner plates, and we're going to use orange. And then you're going to want to stick a 2x2 plate on top of them. Now, for color scheming purposes, we're going to use a round 2x2 plate in light gray. Now this does make it a little less sturdy, but still holds up just fine, and since we're probably going to be leaving it on the stand, sturdiness isn't the most important thing. Now what you do is on 2 of these sides, you place 1x4 plates underneath these corners. And then in the other spots, you place jumper plates. I acquired a lot of these jumper plates from Pick-A-Brick walls recently, which is very convenient for me. But I always like to have jumper plates in corners on hand, because you never know when you can use the Lowell sphere to make something interesting. And so like I said, if you want a simple BB-8, you make 6 of these faces, and then just connect them together with Travis bricks, as I'll demonstrate later. And on one of the faces, rather than a 2x2 round plate, you'll want to use a turntable. And of course, you won't bother with this little cone on the bottom of BB-8's head. You will just stick it right on the turntable, and then it can rotate. And it'll look pretty good. But we can do a little bit better. So we're going to make 3 slightly modified faces for our Lowell sphere. We're going to make them all the same way. So again, we start the same. Take 4 corner plates in orange. Stick a light gray 2x2 round plate on top. On one side, we stick a 1x4 plate in white underneath. And then on the other side, and make sure you're doing this on the same side, it doesn't matter which side it is, but as long as for each of these orientations it's the same way, stick a 1x3 plate underneath. And then place jumpers underneath the other bits, just as before. And do this 3 times. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to connect our faces. So we only need 7 Travis bricks for this, because in one corner we're going to be sticking BB-8's head instead. So place Travis bricks on the underside of one of your normal faces, and then stick the other faces on so that the jumper plates cover sides where there aren't jumper plates on the other face. This might sound like a little complicated, and I didn't explain it very well, but it'll actually be obvious when you're building, because there's only one way for it to work. And in fact, on one of our other faces, we can stick 3 Travis bricks, one of our modified faces. And let's stick this here. Ooh, we can't do that. Let's stick this here while we're at it. So now we know that our modified faces all have to have the empty corner right here. This makes it easy for us, since this has 4 Travis bricks for us. We can place the other normal face here. So what I was saying with it being a little less sturdy than ideal, but it'll work. You might have to be careful with this, but I assure you that it doesn't take too much trouble. In fact, the first time I built it, it went smoother than this. Alright, let's click that into place. Now we've got 2 more modified faces. Let's make sure we line up this corner. And now what we want to do is we want to squeeze BB-8's head in. Just tuck it in there. And lay it to the side, and then we can place the other modified face on appropriately. This will probably be the trickiest part, because you have to try not to crush anything. You can't really reach inside right now. So now once you've got it, maybe just press all the corners a little bit, make sure it's sturdy. And now you see that BB-8's head has a pretty nice range of motion, much like in the movie. But because it's on this diagonal, or on this corner, it's got a nice spinning effect. We can set it on our little stand, and it looks very nice. So with that, if you liked this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, send this to your friends, check out my other ones, and we'll see you guys next time. And as a teaser of what's to come, I encourage you to subscribe, because in the near future, oh boy, more fun stuff that I did with the Lowell sphere.